This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. Carnival 2020 is certainly in full swing in St. Thomas, and over the weekend at the Village, there will be some of the biggest carnival songs of the year. USVI News' Ali Bourne-Vanek catches up with a local musician and singer on his song with Spectrum Band called Gimme Something.
I'm here with Hugo Hodge Jr., and we are talking all things carnival.
All things carnival.
I know you are so involved. There is so much to discuss. Let's start with your song.
It's your boy again, Hugo!
And the morning show that we do, myself and Sheldon, we're talking about carnival and saying, you know, we just need something. We need a little bit of carnival. We need a little juve, a little parade, a little village, something.
Absolutely.
And Figgy, of course, who writes for Spectrum Band and whatnot, has written many songs to our carnival, heard our comments and called me and said, you just gave me your song for this, a song for this year.
Give me something, give me anything, give me something, give me anything.
Because originally it was going to be Malvern's song. And then we turned around and I was like, you know what? He's going to do, bring back the soca and say, you're going to do Give Me Something.
Love it.
So we went and we talked about doing a little bit, give me a little something, give me a little carnival, a little juve, a little parade.
Yeah.
And we got our wish, right?
I love it. It's so on time.
Yes.
The name of the song, the meaning behind it, it's like, of course.
Right.
So give me carnival, hey, bring the bacchanal, whoa, just give me carnival. Yeah. Give me something, give me anything, give me something, give me anything.
It resonates.
Right. So we asked for a little something, a little carnival, a little fete, a little bacchanal, and we're going to get all of it.
Yes, and I feel this too. We are getting so much.
We're blessed to get it too.
Very, very blessed.
Yeah.
How can people check it out?
It's on every streaming method out there. So it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on SoundCloud, whatever your choice is to find music. Just search Give Me Something, Spectrum featuring Hugo, Tash Hodge, and up the road.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, can't get it out of my head. Thanks, Hugo.
Thank you very much.
Of course, those carnival songs, the best part, to get you jumping. So, on St. Thomas, Virgin Islands police are investigating a deadly shooting. It happened Thursday night, just before 9. 911 got a call for shots fired in the Bavoni area in the vicinity of the Superette. Officers arrived to find an unresponsive male with several gunshot wounds. Family identified the victim as 43-year-old Daryl Jennings. Anyone with any information is asked to call VIPD or Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS. A local man's arrested for allegedly stealing more than $1,300 from a victim. He's identified as 21-year-old Leighton Phillip. The Economic Crimes Unit of VIPD conducted the fraud investigation, which revealed Phillip found the victim's debit card and maliciously and intentionally made several online purchases totaling $1,374. Phillip is facing several charges, including grand larceny and identity theft. We continue to see a bit of a spike in cases of COVID-19 throughout the territory. The spike we're seeing is likely from the BA2 Omicron subvariant, which is now accounting for most of the new COVID-19 cases nationwide. According to the latest numbers from the VI Department of Health, there are 345 active cases territory-wide, with 201 on St. Croix, 141 on St. Thomas, and 3 active cases on St. John. So we certainly know how hot temperatures get in the VI, and being stuck in a hot car can actually be deadly quick. And both lawmakers and auto safety advocates are pushing for new technology to prevent hot car deaths. Since 1990, more than 1,000 children have died from heat stroke in hot cars, with 23 of those deaths happening in 2021. To combat this, all new vehicles will have a standard alert system in place to prevent those deaths. It's thanks to a new requirement which was put into law through the new infrastructure legislation. But lawmakers are asking for more now. They're calling for the administration and car manufacturers to take this precaution a step further than the current alert, proposing the installation of a detection system if something is in the back seat. It would let a driver know if a child or pet is in the back seat, and an alarm would sound. a suggestion that would theoretically reduce the current death rate.
Cars overheat in a matter of minutes. Kids will be killed because cars become death traps. And we have to mobilize awareness, raise people's consciousness, not just about the dangers to their children, but more broadly the need for safety mechanisms. We have a new law that requires an alert system, but the rulemaking to make that law effective has to go forward right away, and we need more, not just an alert system, but a detection mechanism. So parents are told very alarmingly they're leaving a child in the back seat.
We'd like them to go even further, and them, I mean the Department of Transportation, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, to also not only that please check the back seat, but to say something is in the back seat. And that can be done with a detection system.
Also in our nation's capital, congressional members are looking at how to get people back into the workforce. While most say the pandemic didn't help, some are pointing the finger at a lack of affordable and accessible childcare. Our USVI News Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
In a Senate hearing, one Columbus, Pennsylvania small business owner spells out the challenges COVID has had on his glass decorating company.
For example, one of my key employees, Alexis, lost 2 weeks without pay during our peak season at Christmas time last year when her primary care provider, her father-in-law, was exposed to COVID and had to quarantine for 2 weeks. So Alexis stayed home for 2 weeks because she didn't have any childcare options in my hometown.
He says although supply chain interruptions contributed to increasing his prices for the first time in 5 years, he's also blaming on reduced production capacity.
In a national survey of more than 1,000 business owners from our network, 56% of small business owners said they've lost business income as a result of child care issues.
But lawmakers seem split on how to address this.
Here's what I've never seen the wisdom of, though. President Biden, in his Build Back Better bill, basically said his solution to reducing the cost of child care is to have the federal government take it over, have the federal government make it twice as expensive. If you're going to pay child care workers like you pay school teachers, you're going to spend a lot more money. That doesn't make any sense to me.
The proposal that the congressional Democrats have developed will provide much needed help for child care providers, allowing them to hire more workers and to offer higher quality care to more families. It will provide direct assistance to families for child care, making one of families' biggest expenses more affordable.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Following a massive pandemic slowdown, millions are once again taking to the skies in what airlines say could be their most profitable summer ever. But there is one very big problem, a massive nationwide pilot shortage. Carrie Sanders brings us the story from the Fort Lauderdale International Airport.
This morning, the national commercial pilot shortage wreaking havoc on passengers.
Got on a plane, they canceled the flight, and I've been on endless lines.
With fewer COVID tests these days, Americans are traveling again, but virtually every airline is scrambling to fill their cockpits. The lack of pilots leading to delays, flight cancellations, and even grounded fleets. Several airlines hiring buses to replace planes on shorter routes. American recently announced they've started using buses to ferry passengers from smaller airports in the Northeast to their hub in Philadelphia, where more pilots are available. There are an estimated 14,500 openings for commercial pilots over the next 8 years. The problem? Not enough new pilots moving from smaller regional airlines to the major carriers, and too few pilots exiting the military to work in the private sector. Pilot training can cost more than $100,000. Jonathan Manivel runs the Miami Flight Academy.
It's an addition of different things. Pilot retiring, the pandemic. So now just to train the new pilots is going to take a long time.
Some airlines are now training future pilots themselves. United hoping to train up to 5,000 pilots over the next 8 years at its own aviation academy.
Yeah, this is a nice stable descent. This is good.
Instructor Shelley Thomas is planning to become a commercial pilot herself.
As soon as I realized that there was a pilot shortage, and a lot of my other mentors at United kind of brought it up.
JetBlue has a similar program, no flying experience required.
Finally, I met the right people to set me in the right direction, and I jumped.
Veteran pilots say one short-term solution, let those forced to retire at age 65, as required by the FAA, back into the cockpit. Rich Seiler was a Delta pilot for 35 years.
We are forced out, and it's no other industry in the world that I know of that it happens like that.